Welcome to the video. So the other week I had a bunch of Sony microphones, did a couple of tests. I did indoor tests where we sat from here 2 feet away, 5 feet away, and then 10 feet away on that side of the studio that I've got here. So at the end of the day, my recommendations were if you have a Sony camera that's actually compatible with these ECM shotgun microphones that have no wires and just slide into the hot shoe, the ECM G1 is a great bang for buck. It's small, it's lightweight, it's discreet, and it picks up a very good volume. It picks up really nice sound for how small it is and how affordable it is. It also has this audio jack right there, so it's kind of nice. You could also boom it. You could use it with other cameras as well. So if you got a Sony ZV-1 or the likes like that, this is a great option. I also recommended the ECM B1M, which I sent back. I still got the B10 as well. The ECM B10 is $250 and the ECM B1M is just a little bit longer at $350. I could not recommend the ECM M1. It's just got a lot of bells and whistles and a lot of extra gimmicky features. If you ask me, that's way too much money. The ECM G1 sounds better for $150 than the ECM M1 at $350. So just the other day, I actually did take this microphone out with my Sony ZV-1 and vlogged with it around the streets of Manhattan in the West Village, and I was very impressed with the sound that came from this. It did a good job of picking up my voice and not picking up too much background noise, so I was very impressed with this. And then just a few days ago, I also went to a busy intersection in Long Island City, Queens, and tested out a couple of these ECM microphones. I tested out all 4 of them, the ECM G1, the ECM M1, the ECM B10, and then the ECM B1M. My opinion, there's not a huge difference between these 4 microphones when you test them outside. You really hear the difference on the inside if you're using them to film in your indoor studio. However, here are the outdoor tests with those 4 microphones. Sony ZV-E1 onboard audio. This is as a test. We just got the wind muffler on. It's sort of noisy. How does it sound? This is going to be the baseline. We're going to test a couple of the other ECM microphones. And this is a Sony ECM G1. It is $150. It's their little baby microphone, not the one I have in my hand, obviously. Little baby microphone. How does this one sound for 150 bucks? It's the smallest one. How does it sound? It's not even that noisy, but it's noisy enough. All right, and this is the Sony ECM M1, the new one. $350. How does this one sound? It's just on super directional, so I don't know if you could hear me now. Maybe now you can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Overall, I'm not really impressed with this one. I don't find the noise cancellation is very good. And I don't use any of the noise cancellation filters. They just don't sound good. So Sony ECM M1, $350 price. And here is a Sony ECM B10. I just filmed the vlog on this one. I really like the way this one sounds. The ECM B10, $250. It's basically the shorter version of this one, which is the B1. So ECM B10, $250. What do you think? Finally, the Sony ECM B1M, the oldest one, the biggest one, and honestly probably the best one. If you got $350 to spend, this is probably the one to get over the new ECM M1. As you can see, pretty noisy over here. You wouldn't want to film in a super noisy environment and have good audio like this anyway, but I just want to demonstrate how these microphones sound in a super noisy environment. So reviewing the footage, it's pretty hard to tell which microphone you're actually using. And mind you, this is going to be a little bit easier to tell that, okay, there is a clear difference between the ECM G1 at $150 and the ECM B10 at $250, for example. But unless you're playing that footage side by side, it's going to be really hard to tell the difference. I am most surprised with the ECM G1, the cheapest, less expensive, least premium product. I'm very surprised at how good this sounds in a noisy environment, especially when you're outside and you're vlogging. I actually do go out and vlog. You've seen on my channels, I take these microphones and these Sony cameras out and I actually am a vlogger. But I'm very impressed with this microphone. One thing I also like is with this ECM G1 is if you've got an older Sony camera like this, the ZV-1 first generation, or if you got the ZV-1 second generation, this microphone does work with these more affordable cameras. The ECM B1M, the ECM B10, the one that I'm holding right here, this is not the B1M, this is the shorter one. This one does not work with the hot shoe on the ZV-1. So this one you do have to have a more expensive APS-C or full frame camera that they designed recently to get this one to work. And this one, you pretty much, you are locked into just using it on the hot shoe. You can't use a cable with other cameras. So this one, I'm very surprised. This one really sounds good, and it's actually super versatile because it's just super small and it packs a serious punch. Now, another one that I was actually very surprised with is the ECM B10. This sounds almost the same as the ECM B1. Now, I'm the type of person that if I could pay $250 for something that's good, but $350 for something that's better, I know that if I get the mid-range option, I'm only going to be wishing that I got the higher and more premium option later on down the road. So I would always spend more money up front to be satisfied in the long run. However, even though this one only has the 4 microphones on top, the 4 capsules on top that is, and the ECM B1M has 8 capsules on top, it's very hard to tell the difference between the ECM B10, this one, and the more expensive ECM B1M. The other thing about this one is it seems to wobble around a lot less. It's just a lot more stable. And it's not much shorter, but every little bit counts. And if you're someone like me and you want to just leave your microphone on your camera, you don't want to have to deal with pulling it in and out of your bag and then connecting it, disconnecting it, and you don't want to deal with cables, this is a great option as well. Plus, if you've got a budget for all your YouTube or filmmaking gear, this one, maybe you could spend $250 on this shotgun microphone, and then you can spend $100 on a Rode Video Micro 2, like this one right now, or the Rode Video Mic Go 2, which I just got and we're filming on right now, which is $100. So you might be able to get a little bit more versatility and a little bit more options if you get the more affordable ECM B10 versus the ECM B1. Now my advice stands the same for the ECM M1. I don't think you should go anywhere near the ECM M1. It's overpriced. They just threw a bunch of gimmicky features at it and it doesn't sound as good. The ECM M1 pretty much right off the bat, just if you don't edit that audio, it sounds a tiny bit better than the ECM G1, but the ECM B10 sounds better than the ECM M1. So $150, $250, that ECM M1 sits in the middle of these two. However, it costs the same as the bigger brother, the ECM B1M, the most premium shotgun microphone that they make. I would not go anywhere near that ECM M1. I would save your money, just get the ECM G1, and then invest in a microphone that has cables, or invest in a wireless microphone if you really want that noise cancellation, because with a wireless system you're not going to have to worry about if you're 10, 20, 30 feet away from the camera, or if you get too close to the camera. You're not going to have to worry about now you have to lower the volume, otherwise it's going to be too loud, and now you have to raise the volume. It's just consistent because it's always within a foot of your mouth where you're talking. If money were no object, I would definitely get the ECM B1M just because it's the most premium one and it sounds the best. And after I had the ECM B1M, I would get the ECM G1 just because I like how compact this one is for run and gun video shooting, run and gun vlogging. It's out of the way, it's small, it packs a serious punch. And if you're using Final Cut Pro like me, this ECM G1 is going to sound a lot better if you go into the audio editor and you actually boost the bass. Now, I'm not sure if I would have gotten the ECM B10 if money were no object. This is a great option if you don't want to spend the full $350 on the ECM B1M, but you want to get 90% of the features, 90% of the sound that it has. The ECM B10 is an awesome option, and it allows you to save some more money in your budget for some other gear, other microphones, or tripods, batteries, whatever you need to run your system. So I have enjoyed using the B10, and I'm actually pretty surprised that I'm liking this one so much. I thought that I would just say, well, I want the better one. I want the more premium one. It's only $100 more. Why would I go anywhere near the cheaper one? But I actually think that Sony did a great job with the ECM B10. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helped, and I hope you had fun. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.